Right. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Biblical Hitmen, folks. My name is Steven, host of the show. Hope everyone's having a good day. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, so shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. And tonight's episode going to be a good one, going to be a banger. A lot of information got to go over. A lot of information got to go over. But if anyone wants to support me, support the work that I do here, be sure to head on over to patreon.com/the biblical hitmen. And there you can get all of your ad-free early access, direct chats, group chats, all that kind of stuff with me over there. Also, if you want to support the show, just come on over to the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like the show, please, and share it with your friends. Go ahead, drop a comment down below about whatever it is you think about the episode. Also, come support the channel on audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, any of those will do. And while you're there, I just encourage people, if you like the show, be sure to leave a 5-star review. Reviews help the show grow and help it get pushed out in the algorithms. And hit that follow button, hit the notification bell, and so you can be aware whenever I do drop shows. So holy smokes. Okay, got a pretty big show here. We've First off, I mean, we got so much going on in the world. There's a lot going on, right? Got a lot going on. We've got the UFO files just got dumped. We've got disclosure, everybody. There's aliens everywhere. Watch out now. It's okay. Everything's, forget about everything, right? Forget about everything that's going on behind the scenes. What got me interested in this topic. Number one, I'm a paramedic. I've worked as a paramedic for almost 12 years now, just about to be 12 years. I've been on the front lines of EMS for since the beginning of my career. And tonight's show is pretty much the Athena agenda, AI surveillance in the new world system, what that looks like, what are we going to talk about that contributes to that topic. I think there's a few players that we need to discuss: World Health Organization, Oracle, also the potential for another pandemic. I think that we kind of got a little bit of propaganda, right? We got a little stir up of it the other day, and who knows exactly what that's going to evolve into. I don't know. Just keep your eyes on the social media psyops and the CNP and all this stuff, and they'll tell you what's going on, right? But pretty much believe the complete opposite of that stuff. But I want to open up this show by talking about what I recognized back in 2019 in October when I was in the firehouse. And when I was there, remember, this was pre C19 days, but just before things got crazy, right? You had Event 201 that was done, which was pretty much, you had a bunch of these people come together, talk about scenarios that would play out in the future, if you know what I'm saying. A lot of big people were funding these kind of operations where these meetings would take place. And really, that's kind of what a lot of these organizations do. World Health Organization, World Economic Forum, so on and so forth. I can keep on going. And I think one of these is the Athena agenda. And we'll get into what that is here in just a little bit. But I remember sitting at the dinner table, and it had to be around 11 o'clock in the morning. And I'm looking at my cell phone and I'm seeing a lot of weird propaganda going on. I'm seeing a lot of weird stuff happening in China, seeing a lot of these quick isolation camps being built, seeing a lot, like it's almost like these containment facilities, these FEMA camps almost in China were being built. The turnaround was like in days of what they were building. And so it kind of seemed like they knew about something before it was even worldwide, right? And obviously, we know what happened in Wuhan and all of these things, which the Athena agenda and the people in that bipartisan organization, they mention that, hey, we need to do this. We need to create this for America, which, whatever happens in America happens in the world right after that. But what they want to do is come up with a system where it's not only preventative, it's not only spying and just surveillance on a whole nother level. Quick flash, like we had Donald Trump talking about 6G and giving a little moniker of like, oh, we'll be able to see underneath the skin. You got RFK pushing wearables, yada yada yada. Hey, listen, we voted this stuff in. I didn't vote it in. I don't vote, but the people kind of allowed this to happen for these people to get in position. We had things like also Operation Warp Speed, yada, 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 right? mRNA vaccines were created in the 70s, but we got propaganda and it was fed to us that these things were created in 6 months. A little bit, about my career as well. As I've worked in clinical research. I worked in clinical research for a few years. I got to get my feet in the water with that, got to learn how to work with cohorts and, clinical trials and all this kind of stuff. Got to see how the FDA functions, got to see how the monitors function, got to see how going through the protocols of these trials actually works. And got to have relationships with people going through these trials, almost on a personal level, right? Because you're spending the night with them, you're checking on them, you're being an advocate for them, yada yada yada. So I'm going to circle back to when I was in the firehouse, right? And this was in October of 2019. I started seeing the propaganda taking off, about something big was going to happen. And I remember looking at my friend and I said, "What do you think's going on?" And him being at a very high level critical thinker, being older in his age than I was, and he just kind of seen a lot of things play out. He's a big prepper, so he's kind of had his eye and his finger on the pulse with a lot of this stuff. Shout out to Louis, it's my brother Louis. And he looked at me and he goes, "This is another 9/11 event." And what do you know? C-19 was definitely that, because the world was faced with a problem. It went through a reaction, and then there was a solution. And what's very interesting about that, since I've been digging into the new age, oh, that's it. That's my phone. Since I've been digging into the new age, okay, um, I've been digging into Alice Bailey's work, and it's mind blowing how much of what we're seeing, what's going on in our world, all contributes to New Age. By the way, it's all New Age agenda. There's New Age players involved. There's people that you think are advocates for you, and people that are trying to bring you liberty, freedom, success, and the golden age. All of this is New Age. Okay. So when I looked into Alice Bailey's work, she's the one who created Lucis Trust Publications, right? She talks about multiple different kinds of concepts that deal with New Age occultism and all these things, which New Age occultism is like the righteous, glorious, loving, light, truth side of the mystery schools. And then the dark side is like the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Bilderbergs, the Chlamydia 300, the Club of Rome. You've got the Rothschilds, Rockefeller. Those are black hats. Those are dark magicians of the mystery schools. And so, really, they kind of work together by uh, almost kind of like how a magnet works, right? One's positive, one's negative, but ultimately they need each other to fulfill Satan's agenda. Okay. And so she talks about something that is called the three great energies. Right. So what I mentioned earlier about problem, reaction, solution, she calls it purification, destruction, and organization. So this is what goes on through timelines, because history's kind of like rhymes a bit, right? We talked about that with Tishbite this morning. Shout out to him. He came on and we talked about Revelation 12, and it was awesome. uh but this is kind of like almost a style that may be comparative to like a generational theory, that this is just kind of how things play out. There's a rise up, then there's kind of a stabilizing point, then there's a crash, and then boom, another rise up. And so it's kind of like this whole spiritual process that goes through uh, pertaining to humanity that ultimately she calls out, she says, are like these ascending masters that are manipulating and doing all of these things. So what we see here today, especially just a few days ago, right? We had the Hantavirus, right? This is the virus that broke out on a cruise, right? The World Health Organization Director General, came out, talked about this stuff. And really, what they're pushing with all the propaganda is a unification of the world. So that basically, if the world comes together in a world health category, then now we're one step closer to a new world order, to be honest with you, because that's kind of like the health part of the infrastructure of the world. You'll have trade in there, you'll have energy, you'll have education, you'll have religion. So if health is one of those things and it's still kind of uh, stuck in this individualism, they want to get rid of that. And we'll actually hear uh, the the WHO general talk and actually mention that, right? So it's interesting. I want to pull this up. Maybe we can get a little article here. Maybe I can get Forbes article here, and we can kind of just talk about this real quick. No, I don't want to subscribe to you, Forbes. Okay, don't want to do it. And oh geez, there's so many sponsors that pop up with this stuff. So we'll see. Well, let's see how I can get this going here. What's up, everybody? We got Jeffrey in the house. We got Smack 9520 in the house. What's up, Glare? What's up, Rebel? We got Rebel in the house. We got the Priestess in the house. Neff Hunter, yo, 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 what up, cuz? Saved by Grace is here. Chris is here. Let's go. We got the squad in here, up in here, up in here. If anyone knows that song, that is a throwback right there. That is a throwback, and I think that's either Ja Rule or DMX. Can't remember. So here's an article we have, and this is this is Forbes, right? Forbes.com. So it's whatever. Okay. Maybe some credibility here. Anyways, the Hantavirus, I think I'm saying that right, Hantavirus, cruise passengers will disembark Sunday. Latest updates. So, passengers on the Hanta stricken MV Hondius cruise ship will soon be evacuated in an operation that will be directly observed by the World Health Organization's Director General, who said Saturday travelers will be taken to their respective countries as various governments differ on how they will receive and monitor their citizens. And so, what's interesting about this too is that, everyone on X, including myself at some point, right? Because I'm not going to say I'm perfect and I know every psyop that's out there. I'm still a human being. We're all human beings. We all have a psychological brain that functions, and we sometimes may react a little sooner than we should. So when I first saw this, I immediately thought of, yeah, you know what? Here we go. Here we go. Maybe the foot's on the gas pedal. I don't know. But this is still, and I was like, here we go. Wish I was prepped a little harder, right? Uh, but who knows? It could be absolutely nothing. So here it says Saturday, May 9th, 2026, the 17 U.S. passengers who were aboard the Hondius and have tested negative for hantavirus will not be forcibly quarantined when they return to their states, according to multiple outlets. CDC officials have said after the U.S. passengers are assessed at the National Quarantine Unit in Nebraska, they can isolate at the unit or return home, where they will keep contact with health officials for the next 42 days. Interesting number here. I don't know if anyone knows 42. I say it a lot. I talk about it. Whatever. Maybe it's goddess stuff. I don't know. The goddess is everywhere. Robin May, a British health official, told The Guardian the passengers who will soon return home may be asked to self-isolate, most likely at home for 45 days. Spanish passengers will reportedly undergo voluntarily voluntary quarantine at the Gomez Ula Central Defense Hospital in Madrid, according to a Thursday report from Politico, which cited Defense Minister Margarita Robles through Spanish Health Minister Monica Garcia, has said if the passengers do not voluntarily isolate, authorities have sufficient legal instruments to adopt the necessary measures to protect public health. Ah, interesting. I don't know. Here we go. This is freedom. This is liberties. This is what's good for the collective. Does anyone remember going through that, right? Going through these things during C-19, going through these days where, man, what is your problem? You're trying to kill my grandmother. You don't want to do this or be a part of this or yada, yada, yada. All that kind of stuff is what I think Bailey talks about as far as this purification energy, almost, where if there is resistance with that, then it'll bring in a destruction period. And then when the destruction period actually happens, then it's like humanity ends up learning from their mistakes and they actually come together as one. I mean, it's like this energy styled Hegelian dialectic, which is very interesting. And we went through that in 2019 and 2020. That's what the phases were for, the phases of lockdowns. That's why Rockefeller actually wrote about these things in his, or he funded a paper called Operation Lockstep. So these were scenarios that were being played out that actually did happen, but they were already ready for this. And so they inch by inch get closer to creating an infrastructure just before these things happen. That's why we have to kind of look and understand, what is Donald Trump doing? He got into office. Okay, hold on. Like, he came up, he did the Operation Warp Speed. He was the savior. He's the one that saved millions and millions of people. He then got elected out of office. Biden came in and it was hell, right? Which is just another way to kind of manipulate people to elect Trump to come back in once again. Another Hegelian dialectic move. Trump comes in, and then all of a sudden he funds $500 billion in Texas to create the biggest artificial intelligent cloud bank in the entire world, known as Project Stargate. Then he's got funders that are a part of Palantir, Anduril, Alex Karp, Peter Thiel, right? Then he's also got people that are also tied into his cabinet, known as Larry Ellison, the guy who owns Oracle. All of these AI companies that are starting to come into play here and actually connect into one generalized, huge hive mind system that we really should be very cautious of, because ultimately it's going to bring what? I tell you what's it going to preach? It's going to preach peace and safety. It's going to preach security. It's going to preach that it's trying to actually help you, protect you, give you longevity, right? Help you prosper, right? What's so bad about Oracle, right? Just take this thing in your arm, and now we can see if you actually have cancer before it even gets into a stage 1. I mean, a lot of people are going to eat this stuff up, but they're also going to give up their own biological data in the same process of all of this. Why do you think Microsoft has a patent that is called 060606, and it's actually about mining your body activity data, and then in return it gives you it helps you mine cryptocurrency. So it's like a trade-off here, right? There's a bait and catch. And this is how they manipulate mankind. Because I'll tell you what, mankind is really stupid. Mankind is not smart. The normal man is not smart at all. The normal man watches baseball, watches football. He loves his favorite team. He wears it every Sunday when he's eating chicken wings and pizza and Coke. I mean, and if anyone does all that in the audience, love you, right? But what I'm saying is just people are falling into the Roman circus, and it's what we're programmed to do all throughout school. It's what we're programmed to do growing up in certain households, and we're not meant to pay attention to these kind of things. So I wanted to finish this article here. It's really it's actually too long. So that was just a little bit that I wanted to throw in there. Um, and I wanted to play some videos here for you guys so that we can see what's going on. And on X, I actually need that fan on me. I'm in Florida and it's getting hot again, and I'm out in a patio room, so it's hot. It's so hot. Oh, that's not it. Let me pull this down here. So okay, we got it. We got it. We got it rolling here. We got it. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everyone's having a good day. Blessings. What's up, Daunt? What's up, Mark? What's going on, everybody? Okay, so
But how does that?
all right. So this is X. This is Shadow of Ezra. Thanks for posting this, brother. He says the World Health Organization says the Hantavirus outbreak is the reason why governments around the world need to be part of global health order. We really need this incident, this outbreak, to show why the world needs a global entity that connects this. We live in an interconnected world, and outbreak is one part affects everywhere. Uh, I don't. That didn't kind of make sense, but um, and and that's like true, right? There's like some truth to this stuff, but again, that's what Satan did in the garden, right? Like Satan did that. I mean, he kind of that is what the psyop is. That there's enough truth in it for you to fall into it, fall into the deception of it, right? You know, surely you shall not die, but you'd be as gods. It's like, wasn't wrong. Eve ate the fruit, gave it to Adam. They did not die immediately, right? But they did, you know, they did, they died spiritually, right? They died spiritually like that, and then their bodies died. There's a curse that follows with sin. Okay, so um, this is this guy here talking. We'll play it out and let's roll it.
But how does that translate in a global solidarity? I will let time to tell. But we really need this incident. This outbreak has seen why the world needs a global entity that coordinates this. The Argentina support how they came forward. The support we are receiving now from U.S. institutions. As we live in an interconnected world, that outbreak from one part affects everywhere. So in terms of collaboration, we are going both through the technical collaborations in sharing information, guidance. We rely heavily as DG multiple sides. What I'm saying is that the expertise of USCDC is an asset for the world, and we have been benefiting from that.
And this is the thing too, right? Like I was talking about with the infrastructure of the world earlier, the health is one of the biggest components of it, right? Because it's like it's what everyone actually wants the most. I think the next thing after that is the economy, you know, monetization, right? Like a global order of how currency works in this world. And I think that that's coming as well with a lot of, who knows, we might see a bunch of poly crisis events, you know, which I do think Matthew 24 mentions. You know, if anyone reads Matthew 24, it's really serious. And I'll bring it up here actually. Um, Matthew 24 is very interesting because I think this is how things come together as one. Could be wrong. Again, I'm open to other kinds of interpretation. I'm not a scholar, and I don't think anyone's just, you know, knows for sure, really, or knows 100% of it, right? Like this is the word of God, right? But as well, we're still man, and there's probably some things that we can get wrong. But I think it's interesting to say the least that Jesus tells you, he's like, hey, what, you know, the disciples are like, hey, tell us the signs you're coming. You know, we want to know. Oh, verily, verily, I say unto you, right? He says, take heed that no man deceive you, right? For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, and see that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Isn't that funny? That it's almost like he's like saying, "Hey, like this is bad, but it's going to get worse." But people are going to think it's almost like the end of day. The world's going to end right now. It's just going to get worse. This polycrisis event here. He says, "For nation shall rise against nation, the kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places." I'll tell you this. Do you think it's possible? I want to hear what the chat thinks about this. This is something I've been talking with my brothers in the Discord. This is something I've been having conversations with friends with. And do you think it's possible that the very elite of this world have the ability to manufacture these events right here happening? And if they do have the ability to do this and they do end up manufacturing these events, then it's all part of the plan for this to look like dark, and that these are the evil forces of the world. And I talk about this right with the Atlantean mysteries, that this is the Belial group of things. And if they are successful with these things, these polycrisis events, then it would naturally push humanity to ultimately come together to rise up, to rise and separate from these dominion materialistic individualist parts of the world, or the people controlling it, right? Like the deep state, and they'll come together, and they'll actually humanity which was manipulated by this, right, is coming together and actually really actually forming what the real new world order truly is. And the new real world order is not going to look dark. I think it's going to look like light. I think it's going to look like the law of one. I think it's going to connect people to source. And this is the thing too that's very interesting with this, is that the technology ain't going anywhere, but it's how people are going to use the technology that will be different, right? So, for example, like Neuralink, yeah, it's not it's maybe the evil forces want to use it to try and control you, right? And manipulate you. But really there's the good side of the occult that wants to use it to ascend consciously and to hit that pineal gland with all kinds of frequencies and boom, blast off wherever you go. Oh no, I ain't getting it. But I just find it interesting. Right here in Matthew 24, it kind of talks about a little bit of a like a polycrisis event. Anyways, something I wanted to share, um, because I think that's what's going to help these things flow into, uh, being successful. Yada yada yada. Um, there's another video here I want to show of the actual guy who is the general, or the main guy for the World Health Organization. Um, oh yeah, so it says yeah, nothing's new under the sun, no doubt, no doubt. Maybe not to pass, but they can surely make things ugly trying. No doubt. No doubt. The New World Order will be convenient in peace. No, absolutely, because that's what Alice Bailey's goal was to create the New World Order, right? She's the one that actually had a lot of influence with creating the United Nations through the Lucifer Trust Company, right? Lucis Trust. And if anyone wants to dig into more about her, you can actually read her books on the website, lucistrust.org. And it's very interesting stuff. But I tell you what, look at the website, come back, email me, tell me what you think of it. I think it looks almost like it could be blended in with Christianity and no one would be able to tell the difference. If they just, I mean, they say the Christ all of the time, this and that. That's why I fear people. And I don't fear, but I question people that just say, the Christ, this, that, Christ. It's like, it's Jesus Christ. If you're talking about the Christ, it's Jesus Christ. Okay? Like, get it right, give some authority to his name, and, stop mimicking a lot of these new age sayings, because it's exactly what they do. And that's a deceptive part of this. So let's bring up old homeboy here. Old homeboy. What's his name? I don't know his name. Forgot his name, dude. Plus, I'm so tired. People may be able to hear it in my voice. I've been having a pretty eventful day, long day. Kind of spent it with my family. Had a wonderful midday dinner. Had a steak. Was able to have a nice Mother's Day dinner because I worked for 20. I'm gonna go work for 24 hours tomorrow, and that's gonna be so much fun. I'm ready to retire. I'll tell you that. Ready to retire already. I actually have about 11 more years, so got a long way to go. That's a hike. Not that bad though, right? That's not that bad. So here's a homeboy with a nice little. What kind of hat would this be? I need someone to throw this in the chat. Is this connected to any kind of secret organizations, secret societies? I don't know. Just kidding. Just kidding. Where's my tinfoil hat? So this is the director of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, says every country in the world is now expected to fall in line with his international health regulations because of Hantavirus. He says it is now a moral obligation for nations to submit to and believe in his global health order. Whoa. Quite interesting, the words you used there, pal. And this is him, quote, "It's only when we support each other that we can respond more effectively to viruses and outbreaks. Countries are expected to cooperate based on international health regulations." Screw you, bro. Trying to take away my individuality. And that's the thing, man. That's the nature of Satan is unity and balance. And plus, look at the freaking, I mean, excuse me, but look at the symbolism here. This gets me so amped up. Number one, because I worked through this terrible time of 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Then it started fading out. I was running probably 22 to 28 calls a shift. By the way, if you do the math with that, and a call maybe lasts probably about an hour and 15 minutes, like on average, you do the math on that, and that's like where's the sleep with that, right? I would say the average is probably 45 minutes. But if you do the math with that, dude, I mean, I didn't sleep for 4 years of my life and my career, and it made me super salty. I just hated everybody. I thought about quitting. It was the worst time to work ever. Anytime we had a call, and we would respond to a respiratory, a caution, right? A respiratory caution, C-19, blah, blah, blah. Dispatch would come over the radio and just like give you all the warnings that they had to do according to the CDC and all this kind of stuff that we had to kind of integrate into our policies. I had to get dressed in a gown, wear a mask, do all this stuff, man. That really it didn't help at all because I ended up getting COVID, right? Like a lot of people ended up getting these things because the masks don't do anything. They don't they may mitigate it very briefly, but you can still shoot BBs through a chain link fence. You know what I'm saying? When you look actually the size of the diameter of the virus itself, it is literally comparable to shooting BBs through a chain link fence. And I remember looking into this, and I actually found the actual numbers and the size and all this and that, and I present it to the medical directors and the doctors and all these things, and I'm like, guys, look, like this really isn't helping. If anything, we're slowing down, and we're reducing the the best care that we could provide to people because you'd have to get dressed in this gown before you would go on this call, and it took probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever, to get all dressed up in all this stuff. Then you get into the ambulance, you take off, you get there, you get to the call in about 4 minutes, you get out of the truck, you go in. I'm the only one that's allowed inside the vehicle. I mean, inside the house, according to the protocols we got sent out. And if the call was that bad where I needed people to come in, then I would radio to them. Then they would come in. It was just a crazy thing. And I'm being as truthful as I can with this. Like I'm being completely transparent with you folks with what really happened during those times with EMS and on being on the front lines. Just to give people a little idea of how detrimental 1 minute of delay is on the front lines is if you're in cardiac arrest and your downtime, right? It's all about your downtime in cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest is all about early defibrillation and CPR. Like that is it, 100%. And that is what actually gets people to come out of cardiac arrest at the highest level of statistics, and at the highest probability of actually getting ROS, return of spontaneous circulation, right? And every minute that goes by is 10% mortality increased. So it's very serious with the delaying of doing these things and going to calls, and it's just it's not good for the caller. Okay. Um, Now I get the protections and the precautions and all these things. I totally understand it. But if we're shooting BBs through a chain link fence, come on, dude. Anyways, at some point I ended up just, not even like at some point we all ended up kind of doing it. We're like, we don't like doing all this stuff is just inhibiting care. So all right, let's play this out here.
We can respond.
And then this is homeboy talking. Let's hear him. Let's hear him about bringing unity, bring the world together, bring the one. Come on now, just give it to me. Give me Satan's plan. Hear him out. It's crazy. By the way, this wreath down here was given to Roman emperors for their power, their conquering, their kingship, their victory, all of these things. And the earth is sitting right in the middle of it with a staff and a snake wrapped around it. It's wild.
And then the other issue is, I thank the Prime Minister because based on the request WHO made, he accepted. And the request I made was based on international health regulation. And countries are expected to cooperate based on that international health regulation. But not only the IHR, I think we should also be strong believers of solidarity. Solidarity.
Okay, solidarity is pretty much like empathy, caring about your neighbor honestly more than yourself.
Because that's our best immunity. It's only when we suffer.
He's saying that's the best immunity. That's the best immunity. You know what's the best immunity, brother? Actually, getting sick naturally. Golly.
Support each other, that we can respond more effectively to virus or to outbreaks like this. And it's also a moral duty.
So it's all about humanitarianism. It's all about unity. It's all about empathy, solidarity. It's all about you caring about the collective rather than your individuality. Now, let me mention this to you folks. And I know that this episode is labeled the Athena agenda, and don't worry, we'll get there, okay? What's interesting about all of those things that I just said is that it contributes to Theosophy. Okay, so what this guy is literally promoting is to promote the Theosophical agenda. Okay, what the Theosophical agenda talks about, according to Helena Blavatsky, right, the white witch occultist of the New Age, right? New Age wasn't really a term, happening around her time. She's the one that created Theosophy. And the way she breaks down how the evolution of mankind rolls out, and I've done a show on this, where you have the first root race and then you have the seventh root race. So it pretty much is where humanity starts, where it began is the first root race. And it's not even really humanity in that root race. It's like everything is like spirit at some point in the first root race. And then, just think of it as like a whole idea of like evolution, right? How the Big Bang took place, everything kind of just fell into its places. The first root race went into the second went into the third was like dinosaurs and cavemen, and that whole transition from that ape into human and all of that. Then the fourth root race was the Atlantean root race. This is when society was at its highest, most peaceful level of enlightenment. But then there was this evil group, right, that ended up, or this evil force, this evil spirit that actually caused a cataclysm, which they blame on God, by the way. right? Because God, that the whole fourth root race is understood to be in the antediluvian period, right, prior to the flood. The fourth root race got destroyed because of cataclysm, and where we are today, according to Blavatsky, right, at least in her time in the late 1800s, she claimed that humanity was in the fifth root race. Now, I'll say this: we're getting ready probably to most likely go right into the sixth root race, right? And when we move into the sixth root race, this is where individuality starts to go away and humanity starts to come together as one. And then as they come together as one, then they shift into the seventh root race, and then all that unity gets plugged into divine source, God. And that's where us Christians, we have to really understand here. It may not play out like this at all, but what I hear and what I see and what I'm viewing happening in the world kind of looks like what these occultists have talked about and what they've talked about the future is going to look like. All right. And their prophecies seem to be kind of coming true. Now, false prophets' prophecies and their predictions and all of this, like even in Deuteronomy 13, like these things can happen. Satan has the ability to feed information to people, to then feed that information to a collective, to an entire body of organizations and whatever, humanity. And he has the power to do some of these things. And therefore, it looks like these people are prophets. But the thing about the prophets is that they always turn you to other gods rather than the true one and only God. You could see that difference with the false prophets and the actual real prophets in the Bible. The real prophets in the Bible, right, were always against these other gods, was always telling these false prophets that your God has no power over my God, right? It's like Elijah and I think it's Baal, right, or Moloch. I can't remember exactly, but there's always this discord between the false prophets and the actual real prophets of God. So these things can take place coming into the future and being played out, and seeing the domino effect happen. And so in the fifth root race, before we get into the sixth root race, the fifth root race is about individuality. It's about intellect. It's almost like really where we're at today. But you see people like this with organizations as big as these organizations are, like the World Health Organization, World Economic Forum, on and on and on. They want global unity because they are theosophists. They want to shift humanity into the sixth root race. Now, I did a show on this about the theosophy and pretty much what I think. Drugs on the streets, and now we're making drugs legal to get. Mushroom. I'm pretty sure psilocybin and all these other drugs, these trippy drugs, that they'll have the ability to be legal in a lot of these states, and if not nationwide. And also, we saw Joe Rogan, we saw Trump, and the other advocates that were pushing ibogaine on podcasts and all of this. It actually got signed into executive order, and these drugs are going to only assist with unity. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Um, and so that's what I see taking place with a lot of the propaganda. Do I think Plandemic 2.0 is actually about to roll out with the Hantavirus? No. I mean, we need more information, right? And plus, I think it's psyop, 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 right? One after another, one after another. And it's just kind of hard to tell really what is true in today's world. Everyone can feel the effects of that, right? Like give me some feedback, y'all. Like we can feel the straight up effects of just discordianism, confusion, and we just don't really know what is really happening. And I've never seen reality act this way, right? It's like I've never seen reality act this way. It's either been red pill or blue pill, and it's like, no, dude, everything's kind of just really weird, right? It's always been like left information versus right information, but now it's like worse than that. It's just, I feel like it is. So we're going to throw up another Another skit here from Tedros. This is the World Health Organization's main guy here, the guy that just spoke. He's got a kind of little accent on him, but it'll be all right. It's gonna be all right because we got Jesus in our hearts. So it says here now, who's Tedros says he hopes this incident will make Argentina and U.S. reconsider their decisions to withdraw from WHO, as the best immunity we have is solidarity, and viruses don't care about politics, borders, or excuses. And this is just another piggyback of what it is he was saying in the previous interview.
Health security needs universality. And any vacuum, any space which is not covered actually gives advantage to the virus. And the best immunity we have.
See, he even mentioned right there, any covering, anything, it's not good enough. You're starting to hear it from these people now. I'm not crazy. You're actually starting to hear it.
Is solidarity. So because of the event that's happening now, and both Argentina and the US are affected, I think they will reconsider their decisions, because they can see how important universality is for health security, because viruses don't care about our politics, and they don't care about our borders, and they don't care about all the excuses that we may have. So I hope this could be a good lesson for the whole world, because solidarity is our best immunity. I repeat. Thank you.
I will repeat it, because I must say this. We must get this kind of propaganda out to others. I get it, brother. I know what you're trying to do. It is what it is. And there's no stopping this kind of stuff. This is prophecy, it's just good to kind of review the information and get the warning out there. I'm going to play something that's really wild, crazy. Now, I really should probably put this tinfoil hat on, right? That's right behind me. And because this is the X-Files clip, I'm sure people have seen it. And pretty much it mentions the Hantavirus. And basically in this clip, you'll see that the Hantavirus is a planned Armageddon with no cure for it, and instigated by aliens. This is X-Files. We just got the disclosure thing just came out a day after, or 2 days after, day and a half, whatever, after we got the information about this virus breaking out on a cruise ship. So again, while it plays, I got to hear y'all's perspective of this. Is this, predictive programming? Does this have any validity to it, even though it's just a movie? Is this something that we can see? Maybe the two are tied together, right? Like the whole alien thing, and then them mentioning this virus. Is it meant because we did see this information drop at the same time? Ultimately, just to push propaganda on people about unity. I mean, people, who knows how many people have just abandoned the faith from the first phase of files that just came out. I mean, I guarantee there's people that have. I guarantee that there are a few people that at least have fallen into a seduction. I want to share this real quick, man. I have a testimony with falling into something like that. And if you're really saved, if you're a true Christian, it's going to feel like a battle is happening in your heart. It's going to feel like it's going to feel like Satan's trying to pull you down to hell. And this happened when I was in Las Vegas, out in Calico Basin, with my best friend Jesse, and we had intent to go and try and see something. Right, we're in Las Vegas. We're who knows how many miles away from Area 51. We just got done watching Bob Lazar's UFO documentary by Jeremy Corbell. Like, we were already amped up with intent to go out there and see something. Now, I'm a Christian at that time in 2017. So funny how it was actually around the time just before, 2019 and pretty much what we're talking about right now. But, uh, I was like very seduced into the UFO stuff, right? Wasn't really familiar with what psyops were, wasn't really familiar. I mean, my discernment was low, right? But I'm still a Christian, still saved by the have the Holy Spirit living in me. Um, and I just kind of was confused because I was trying to find an explanation for some of these things. And so, God let me go. He let me go, but he had me on a leash still. So he lets me go. And I go out to Calico Basin, and me and Jesse are out there. It's around 12:30 at night. I can still remember the time. And we can see the lights from Las Vegas shining on the mountains, which where we were. If anyone knows where Calico Basin is, it's in the Red Rock Preservation uh, National Park right there on the west side of Las Vegas, maybe 10 miles, off the strip on the west side. We're out there, and we're pretty much in the middle of nowhere, walking around, and we see something. We see a light shine right over the top of a mountain, and it seemed to be kind of going in and out. It was moving in a circular cylindrical pattern, and it would kind of go out, and then it would appear again, and it would do the same movements, kind of like interesting movements, nothing that was like super impressive. But it happened right after I was just all souped up with all the alien propaganda, the movies, the TV shows, all this kind of stuff, right? Uh, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? This is something. I felt like there was a conscious connection that we had with it in a way that it kind of understood like our thoughts. It was kind of weird because it was reactive off of our, not body language, but our emotion, things like this. We got kind of mad at it and instigated it, and it started to come down to us. It was just really weird. We ran out of there, got in the truck, and we were blowing dust, man, on the way out of there, going fast because we were freaked out of what was happening. But after that, I went home, right? I don't live in Vegas. I went home. I came back home. And I just sat down and I just started praying a lot because I felt like I was being seduced into another religion. And ultimately, I think that that's what's happening to people right now with this phase one drop of these UFO files going out, and people are struggling with what I struggled with. But God brought me back home. I came back home. He started to show me things biblically, and he started to point things out. But you know what? That doesn't even matter, right? Like, we have to understand as Christians, if we're wrong about the sons of God, if we're wrong about Genesis 6, if we're wrong about the Nephilim, it don't matter. Like, we could be wrong. I'm not saying we are. But if by any chance we are, you still have to be grounded in the Lord Jesus Christ. You still have to trust God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love him. He loved you before you loved him. And so lock in because it can get in. I'm pretty sure it can get interesting. But from what I've seen with the files so far, it's really ridiculous. Anyways, I digress. So let me pull this up. We'll run this clip, and then we'll go right into the Athena agenda and what that's about. We'll tie into some oracle with it. We'll talk about the goddess Athena, and yeah, we're 54 minutes in, and we just got started. What's up, everybody? Okay, here we go. We'll play this real quick. I did read it out to you. I'll read it again though. So according to the X-Files, Hantavirus is a planned Armageddon with no cure for it, and instigated by aliens. It's a real clip.
Did you write?
You know my work? I was right about Dallas, wasn't I?
How were you right?
Are you familiar with the Hantavirus, Agent Mulder?
Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United States several years ago.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the Hantavirus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. What is an agency with such broad sweeping power doing managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas?
You're saying it wasn't such a small outbreak?
No, I'm saying it wasn't the Hantavirus.
Well, what was it? What was it?
Real quick, this video kind of gives me vibes like this is what kind of circulates around the missing scientists, the scientists that have been whacked, taken out, whatever. Maybe he's like kind of personifying himself as one of these scientists that know certain information. And you see what I'm saying with all the propaganda and the storyline of what's going on here? Let's roll clip.
When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus.
What killed those men?
What killed them, I won't even write about. We have no context for what killed those men, or any appreciation of the scale at which it'll be unleashed in the future.
A plague?
A plague to end all plagues, Agent Mulder. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on this for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting crooks and commies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon.
Negotiating with whom?
I think you know.
Did you write?
They're negotiating with aliens, you know, which I think could probably play a part of what's going to evolve out of this UFO Great Awakening agenda, right? To connect to divine source. There's going to be kind of like aeons versus archons. There's going to be good ones versus bad ones. They haven't even hit the scene yet. The scene is Earth. It's just all this storyline buildup, right? To when ultimately what I think, according to the New Age agenda and Alice Bailey's work, it's like ascending masters, when they hit the scene, they're going to come here. They're going to play out like Avengers, and they're going to point to something that doesn't exist, right, in our objective view, and say that they're bad and they're coming here, or they're already here, but they're influencing the deep state and the new world order, big wigs and the cabal, right? Everything that David Wilcock and these people that they push, and God bless his soul, right? It is what it is, but he was pushing this agenda, and I think it's going to scoop up a lot of people. I really think it's going to scoop up a lot of people. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, have you heard of Sophia, the AI robot created by Hanson Robotics? Yeah, I've seen that. I've done some research on it. Hanson Robotics, first AI robot he created was Sophia. Yeah, it's wild. It really is. And I think that has something to do with the harlot in Revelation 17. And I'm wondering if the whole world fornicates with artificial intelligence, kind of like how we're already fornicating it with some sort of way. Fornication, in my opinion, is like when a male and a female come together, right? When they're not supposed to, when it's an abomination in the eyes of the Lord, right? And so if you look at humanity as like that male personification, and the harlot being Sophia, artificial intelligence, man merging with AI, could probably maybe make some sort of sense, right? It's something to think about for sure. It says that there's a movie about a dude who created a robot from that. Crazy. I'm not merging with this stuff, but Satan wants humanity to merge with it. Why does he want the merger so bad? Why does he want transhumanism so bad? Why does he honestly want you to give up something to have something else in return? And I think it's ultimately what we see. I think in Revelation 20 it is where the dragon, the false prophet, and Satan are casted into the lake of fire. Those with the mark of the beast are casted into the lake of fire as well. So if he can do something to humanity, the general population and the majority of the population, that's what he wants to do, right? He wants to take you to hell with him. He doesn't like you at all. He hates you, and he hates the people especially that love the Lord. And I think that's why Christians in these times will end up going through the worst persecution known to man, and be faithful until death. You'll be given a crown of life. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, Athena. We finally made it to Athena. And you know what? We'll cover that. Let's cover that a little bit. What is the goddess Athena, right? And I want to just kind of flash real quick, a little quick clip here of the Athena project on YouTube. And this is a little bit of an interesting clip. This is the Bipartisan Commission of Biodefense. And this was recorded 4 years ago, and it only has 1,000 views, by the way. This is what I'm talking about. People are not focused and they're not tuned in the things that really need attention. This needs attention because this is going to develop into something that it gets integrated with everyday life. All right. The infrastructure is being built for that. The infrastructure is being built for surveillance and monitorization and, you not having your privacy anymore. I mean, really, we've already gotten to a point to where that doesn't exist anymore. But now they want to get to the point to where they actually can see what's going on inside your body. They want to get inside the body. In the World Economic Forum, the data of intermediaries and AI, it's a World Economic Forum insight report. It literally talks about the evolution of your cell phone will be incorporated into your body, embedded in body, it says. You have the Nokia CEO back in 2021 talking about in 2030, the cell phones will be in the body. Something to think about here. And with all this crap happening with the aliens, the Nephilim, the fallen angels, I get it. It's fun to talk about. But it's distracted people and pulled people away for so long from things that are actually happening right now. So let me pull this up. This is the Athena agenda executing the Apollo program for biodefense. The one thing about the Athena agenda and why they mix in the Apollo program with this is because back in the 1960s, we know exactly what happened with the Apollo program. We knew that it was one of the biggest innovative things for humanity, right? It was one of the highest budgeted items in that time. And so they kind of want to, they're allegorizing it a little bit to, they want the Athena agenda to be like this, like how the Apollo program, was done in the 60s, right? With budgeting and how it's just going to transition technology and transition humanity and all of these things specifically for the United States. But I do think it will get to the global, it'll get to the global part of this, because you can't just do the Athena agenda, right? Which is biodefense, okay? You can't just isolate it to one country. It's got to be like the World Health Organization guy said, solidarity. We have to, if we can come up with this technology and come up with this infrastructure, we need to share it with the world or be the one that runs it for the rest of the world. So we can keep an eye on these things, keep an eye on these outbreaks, keep an eye on people, what's going on inside of people, so that we can make sure everything's all good. And the thing about the Hantavirus and in the propaganda and the news and all of this stuff, I think it was like 23 people were infected, yada, yada, yada. I remember the headline saying 23 people infected and are going home to all four corners of the world. And it just built up this emotion, and it stirred the pot for an oh crap moment of like, oh no, here comes C-19 once again, right? Here we go again, because it's going to, that's how a pandemic happens is if it gets worldwide, right? Epidemic is within the people, within the nation, it's isolated, but the pandemic is a global event. So I'll play this real quick, and it's interesting to hear what these guys say a little bit. This is at the almost the 1 hour mark here. It's obviously a 6 hour long clip video, but we're not going to play the whole thing. I just want to kind of just flash a little information, hear from them a little bit, and we'll get into who the goddess Athena is, and then we'll get right into the Athena project, Athena agenda.
Yeah, the countries should be grateful for your
Well, it's an honor
to take this role.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Dr. Lander. I thought your testimony was really excellent, both in substance and tone, and I understood it. You know, way back when I was at college and we had requirements for a broad education, they had a track called Science for Non-Science Majors. That's the one I went on. And I think you really delivered a great opening statement that we non-science majors could understand. I appreciate it a lot. You really, I mean, the president couldn't have chosen anybody better to do what you're doing, and it's very gratifying to us that that we agree with you on so much that you've done. It's not surprising, frankly, because you and people like you advised us, and that's why we made the recommendation.
But you listened. That's
right. Well, I mean, I think this is a group that's smart enough to know at this stage of our careers, maybe that's good being a former, that what we don't know, and we're not hesitant to acknowledge it. And we talked to experts like you who helped us with our initial report and the Apollo report. So I can't thank you enough for that. I also want to say that you made at least 2 points, many more that I want to highlight. One was you talked about the potential and real bioterrorist threat.
yes.
And how the responses to it overlap with what we're trying to develop here for pandemic disease, et cetera. And it's why we have chosen what it may be for many people an uncomfortable term or a confusing term, biodefense, because from the beginning, our charter was both bioterrorist attacks and naturally occurring disease attacks and even accidents at laboratories, for instance. So thanks for pointing that out. My own fear, frankly, is that because of the real evidence of the devastation that the COVID-19 pandemic has occurred, that those who would do others ill by using biological weapons are encouraged to work more intensely on them with the hope that they've seen what a biological threat can do. The second point really is, I thought, was a really interesting statement about the trust, developing trust among the people. And you said that we have to get to a point where vaccines, for instance, for viruses such as COVID-19 become in everyday use in our healthcare system.
Wow, this is big right here. This is big right here. Just pay attention to kind of how they sugarcoat this and how they make this look like a nice, delicious donut to eat.
And that is true. Part of the distrust now, unfortunately, is an expression of the political division and distrust that exists in our society, which is really outrageous when you think about people's lives and health being on the line. But there is an inconsistency in that, which is that there are many other aspects of the healthcare system where people are accepting vaccines all the time. For instance, all of our infants are vaccinated, and it's very rare that somebody says, "Oh, I don't want to do that. That's the government telling me what to do." So I thought that was a very insightful comment, but also in its way encouraging, because hopefully we'll get to that point. So I just have a couple of questions, and they go to our own feeling that. First of all, I appreciate your optimism. We can do this.
So just that's just a little bit there. Just wanted to flash a little bit of that in there. Kind of, you can see where these people want to go. This lady actually looks like she's having the time of her life right here. She wants to get out of there, dude. The chair is uncomfortable. This guy's like, what is he talking about? This guy over here looking down over, he's like, man, dude, I need more water. This guy's got dementia. I don't know. Listen, this gets a little scary, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We got the Lord. We're good, no matter what. We're good. But they don't like the people that are not jumping on this bandwagon. They don't like it. They say it very kindly. They say it very nicely. They dance around it, but they do not like it. They think they believe we are the people that are getting in the way. And I will tell you right now that when I read more about the New Age and the New Age agenda, and I read into Barbara Marx Hubbard, and I had on S90, we talked about Barbara Marx Hubbard. He did an awesome job. The dude's well researched in all of these New Age people and these affiliates. They will take you out when the time comes, when all of this is about to go down, if you get in their way. This is what they're saying. This is how passionate these people are about bringing in this new age. Okay. And this whole thing with the Bipartisan Commission of Biodefense, the Athena agenda, is a part of that. It's a part of that. Barbara Marx Hubbard would give speeches at, different seminars, which were contributing to not only biodefense organizations, but also contributing to gene evolution and all this kind of stuff, man. They want to upgrade the human body. They want to upgrade you. They want to upgrade you. They don't want to keep you how God created you. They want to upgrade you. They want to become gods. They want to become gods. And AI is something that's developed for their favor in order to do this. So pretty much it's called the Athena Project. I wanted to go over real quick what the Greek goddess Athena, but she's the goddess, dude. She's the goddess. Come on now. The goddess is everywhere. I want to at least get a picture up here. We'll get some pictures up here of old Athena girl. One of many, I guess, goddesses one of many in the Greek. And there's a lot in the Greek. Zeus had a lot of kids. Rhea was the mother of the other goddesses. But they're all like just little fractionalized pieces of the same thing, in my opinion. And what's interesting is Athena is an ancient Greek goddess of wisdom, strategic warfare, handicrafts, and reason, in one of the 12 Olympian deities, known as the patroness of Athens, which she won in a contest against Poseidon by grifting the olive tree. She is associated with the owl, olive trees, and snakes, and was often portrayed wearing a helmet and spear. So what's interesting about her, even just with a few of the things connected to her iconography, I'd like to pull it up here so I can show y'all what I'm reading off of. This is just a simple Google search of what this is. But when you see here that she is associated with the owl, olive trees, and snakes, and was often portrayed wearing a helmet and a spear, the owl is connected to Lilith. The snakes is connected to the Minoan snake goddess. And the helmet and the spear are kind of iconographies of protection and also defense. So it's interesting, right? Because that's kind of plays a part with what we're going to hear about what they want to do with the Athena agenda. Now, some key facts about Athena, right? That her birth, according to the myth, she was born fully grown and armored, springing from the forehead of her father Zeus. Her role was unlike Ares, who represents chaotic battle. Athena represents discipline, strategy, courage, and defense. Some attributes from her is she is a virgin goddess who embodies intellectual prowess, reason, and civilization. Some symbols and epithets of her are including the owl, like I said, and a shield cape bearing a Gorgon's head. She is often called the Pallas Athena or Grey-eyed. City patronage. As a guardian of cities, she was most closely associated with Athens, where the Parthenon on the Acropolis was dedicated to her. Heroic aid talks about where she's frequently aided heroes in Greek mythology, most notably Odysseus in Odyssey, as well as Perseus and Hercules. And she's Roman equivalent to the goddess Minerva. So that's Athena, right? And there's some pictures here of her. And what's interesting about this picture here is that she's got that crown on her head, right? There's always that crown on the head connects to Rhea. It has connections to Semiramis, with her being the one to be assisting with completing the Tower of Babel, right? With the death of her husband taking place, she had to kind of, finish the job. Also, Kybele or Kybele or Sabel in the Phrygian Anatolian goddess, she was also known to have a crown on her head. And when we see the harlot in Revelation 17, we know that the harlot is showing a lot of the same iconographies of all of this. So here are some pictures. This looks like Ishtar or Inanna. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so Inanna here. She's comparable to ancient Akkadian Inanna, right? The goddess of war, armored and carrying weapons, resting on her foot on the back of a lion. And that's one thing too, right? Like all these goddesses, they always have the iconography of either a panther, a lion, some sort of beast. And you can see that too in the harlot in Revelation 17. Here's another picture here of Carpegna Athena, right? The cult statue of Athena with the face of the type of Carpegna Athena, pink alabaster, basalt, luna marble, and plaster for her face. So that's interesting. This was in the 1st century BC, the early 1st century CE, from the Piazza del Emporio, 1923. Some of these pictures are kind of wild, right? It's just, so what I'm getting out of this too is not only can this be used for defense, monetization, surveillance, and protection, but it's almost like this goddess seems like it could be contributed to war or offense. I don't know. Just kind of look like, let's look at the iconography here: shields and swords, shields and spears. I don't know. We got owls connected here. Owls hunt at night. You know what I'm saying? The owl of Athena, right? Surrounded by the olive wreath. Ah, the wreath. There we go. That might have a connection with the World Health Organization and their symbolism. They had coins for her. Wow. So you have Athena's head on the front. You have an owl on the back of this coin. And oh, look at the wreath. Yo, that is the symbol of the World Health Organization. That's kind of wild. Also, I think it's the United Nations as well. So the goddess is everywhere, y'all. The goddess is everywhere. Our world today worships the goddess. There's nothing different from what took place even just out of the garden, and Cain and his lineage went out and all of that stuff out into the land of Nod. We know from the Paleolithic age, which humanity says that goes back 40,000 years. I don't really know exactly where I stand with all this timeline stuff, but with all that, I mean, we know that the Venus from Willendorf was the one of the first monotheistic, if not the first monotheistic idol that they found up in that area, that northern Asian area, where technically that's kind of in that area, that land of Nod out east from the Garden of Eden. So these pictures are fascinating. They are very fascinating. And I know Donald Trump loves Greek architecture, loves the Greek stuff. He's got Apollo on his ceiling, all of that kind of kind of architecture he has everywhere, wherever he lives. So yeah, some of this stuff is quite fascinating. If anyone's listening on audio, come over to the YouTube. You can actually see a lot of the pictures that I'm flashing up here. This almost looks like the hat of Attis. I don't know if anyone knows who that is. And that's what I'm saying. There's just a constant blending of the male and the feminine energies of these gods. You've got Zeus and then you've got Rhea, right? So it's kind of like, or you've got Kronos and you've got Rhea, right? So there's like these constant blending of the energies from each culture to the other, where it's like a switching off back and forth of a patriarchy, matriarchy, but they're both the same because technically the goddess and the consort of the goddess are a married couple. So anyways, I digress from all that kind of stuff, and we'll get into pretty much what the Athena report is. I have a PDF I want to throw up here of this, and I want to search it here and get this up. The Athena Project. So let's get this rolling here. It's not the Athena Project, it's the Athena Agenda. Sorry. But I find it interesting just what what the symbol of this looks like. The symbol is kind of crazy. I don't know what to think of it. Looks kind of mantis a little bit. Looks alienish. Not sure who really picked the artwork of this, but it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Let's throw it up here. Bam. So the Athena Agenda, advancing the Apollo program for biodefense. The report, or a report by the Bipartisan Commission of Biodefense, or on Biodefense, April 2022. This came out, and this is kind of what it looks like. So I want to see what y'all think of this. What does this look like to you? This kind of makes me think of some sort of mantis alien when I look at it from the first glance. Now, it also could look or contribute to artificial intelligence, something, but it looks conscious, right? Like there's clearly two eyes behind it. Oh, that looks like an owl, yo. That looks like an owl. That's right. Okay. We're getting somewhere. That looks like an owl. It just stood out to me. Very well. There you go. And you know what's so funny is the owl is like Moloch, right? Like there's a connection with that god. And you see how they blend the energies together? Athena would be the female. Moloch would possibly be like that masculine side of things. I don't know. It's just kind of like back and forth throughout the cultures. And I find that fascinating because Satan is the author of confusion, but he kind of like has some sort of consistency to his religions out there, the mythologies, all so on and so forth, everything that's of the world. You can see that pretty much there's some kind of consistency with it. We'll go through the table of contents just a little bit, and I'll let you know kind of what we got here. So we got governance, develop vaccine candidates for prototype pathogens, develop therapeutic drugs in advance of outbreaks, develop flexible and scalable manufacturing of pharmaceuticals, develop needle-free methods of drug and vaccine administration, identify and increase ubiquitous sequencing. Maybe we're getting into Oracle here, little Oracle action there. Develop minimally and non-invasive infection detection. Okay, how are we doing that? How do we get there? Develop massively multiplexed detection capabilities, develop rapid point of use diagnostics, establish digital pathogen surveillance, develop a national public health data system. That's Oracle. Okay. Establish a national pathogen surveillance and forecasting center, develop next generation personal protective equipment. Interesting. Suppress pathogen transmission in the built environment, uh, establish comprehensive laboratory biosafety and biosecurity technologies to deter and prevent biological attacks. So that is pretty much what gets reviewed in this document. That's about 48 pages worth of it, but we've got over 100 pages um, in this entire document here. We have 116 um, from title to end. And I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? This sounds like full full on what's the movie? Eagle Eye. This sounds like Eagle Eye being established everywhere in the entire nation. Like it just sounds like Eagle Eye is going to be established because of these issues that humanity faces. Uh which is I mean, seems like it's going to happen. You know what I mean? It seems like it's going to happen. I don't know. Oracle. Yeah. Oracle's going to play a huge part in this. Scary future. I feel bad for the young children growing up these days. I do too. But you know what's crazy? How easy they're going to fall into this is because of how they're growing up and how they're coming into the technology. You know, being iPad kids, relying on artificial intelligence. It's going to be very easy for them to be plugged right into this kind of stuff. Very, very easy. So I'll kind of go over my notes here a little bit, and we'll keep this picture up here, and I'll kind of shuttle right through this. But you know, what they kind of talk about in this is what the main core message is with this is that they talk about the Apollo moon program, they talk about the Manhattan Project, they talk about the interstate highway system, they get into the Human Genome Project, and all these projects had great amount of funding. They had hundreds of thousands to millions and millions of dollars in funding, and they were huge advancements in human innovation and technological growth and all this kind of stuff, which I think, you know, at some point have created a lot of the things that we have today, right? How do we get the technology we have inside of our homes? Well, a lot of these things were done through a lot of these projects. So what I'm saying with this project, it's whatever happens with this project, it's going to make its way inside the home. It's going to make its way to you. It's going to bond with the individual, right? And so we learned from C19, right, that pretty much we had a weak public infrastructure. We didn't have the data systems. This is what they're talking about, right? Like we didn't have the data systems that we have now. It's kind of like a learning curve for a lot of humanity and for what we weren't good at before. You know, think of 9/11, and when 9/11 happened, the same stuff took place. They went ahead and they saw how weak the infrastructure was with transportation, and they came in and they securitized it, and it became way more strict. So this is what they're talking about in the beginning of this entire Athena agenda, that pretty much even the medical the medical units, the hospitals, the medical care, the infrastructure of the EMS first response system and all this kind of stuff was inadequate to be able to be supported for when all these things started going nuts. And I'll advocate for these things being true because I worked through it and I saw it. I saw exactly what it was like transporting 20 something patients a day and having to go to multiple different hospitals before I'd actually get a patient into the ER because hospitals were packed. They were shut down. They had to open up areas of the hospital that they had no intention at all for opening up for years and years and years down the road. But they were like, oh my goodness, like we need the beds, we need the room, we need the space. There's too many people here. Nurses, the personnel, the exhaustion behind it, the overtime that was being hired was insane. And we learned a lot, okay, through those times And there was a lot of bottlenecks bottlenecking that was happening, right? Especially with having people come in and get care. Imagine calling 911 and you think you're actually going to go to the hospital and get fixed, but you don't get seen for an hour and a half, and you have a broken arm, right? Like, it's crazy. It's kind of hard to think about. The way the triage worked in that time was very it was hard. You had to triage who needed care first. And so it was kind of interesting. Um, you know, they also talk about biological threats, right? And how they're accelerating in our world today. Now, a part of this that they don't mention, which I think should be mentioned, is that we're responsible for a lot of that stuff. Like us doing CRISPR technology, studies and doing these experiments, and also doing these basically breaking down viruses and rebuilding them and copying them and creating these things. That's not good for humanity, but we're doing it. All right. They don't mention that kind of stuff. Like, what do you think was happening in these Wuhan type facilities, right? Where they're doing these, they're basically duplicating and strengthening species of viruses. For what reason? It's kind of insane. They did mention that there are accidents, right? Because they have to, because that information got out. We know that that information got out. That they talked about, laboratory accidents like smallpox, right? The outbreak in China, obviously Ebola, right, which was a self-inflicted incident. So they do mention that, yeah, like we can make mistakes with what we're doing, and yeah, maybe even though it's unethical, or maybe to do these things, we need this system to come in here, because this is what we're doing. So we need to have this biodefense system. Their goal pretty much is to find outbreaks, detect them rapidly, that pathogens are continuously tracked, that vaccines are rapidly produced, that diagnostics are instantly distributed, right? Data systems would provide real-time awareness, and pandemics never spiral out of control. Now, a lot of this sounds good, but you have to understand, like they have to do things to be able to figure out this stuff. And pretty much, the report envisions a permanent biodefense architecture, right? That's it's integrated surveillance. That it's got predictive models. We know that there's Palantir. Palantir is like a predictive model, right? Like, is an artificial intelligence entity that was created to predict outcomes. Not only to predict outcomes, but to predict things in also the criminal world, to predict and to read not only body language, but just the nature of any entity that it's surveilling, and give you a prediction of where it's going to go. Is it going to do something that's against society, and so on and so forth? So the Palantir could easily shift right into the medical system and do exactly what they want. They want scalable pharmaceutical manufacturing, and they also want continuous preparedness with all of this stuff. There's a lot of priorities that they talk about in this PDF that I went through. But some of the priorities are medical countermeasure, innovation. They want rapid diagnostics. How do you think are gonna be able to do this stuff? Like, technology has to be integrated with the body. I think it'll happen with kind of like what we see with the Microsoft patent, right? Like, there's a sensor that is connected to the user, and maybe they'll get a lot of pushback, right? Maybe people won't want technology inside the body, but at some point they'll stress society at such a high level to where people would consent to getting wearables. And you have to consider the idea of solidarity too, right? Like how what's his name for the World Health Organization talked about. A lot of people could die through this process, instilling fear, and then helping humanity get to that point of accepting these kinds of things. So it's kind of wild to even think of, maybe to run the scenario through your mind. It is what it is. There's a lot of agencies that are included with the agenda as well, the Athena agenda. You know, you got agencies like HHS, the DoD, DHS, USDA, that's food. You know, you also got NASA, NSF, FDA, DNI, and EPA, and also the Department of State. You know, there's strategies with all of these departments. They'll end up working together, and each one will kind of take a certain function. That's just kind of how like a hierarchy kind of works. They're all a collective as one, but each one's going to have a certain purpose. So they want they want to do this and maybe break this down to where, you know, there's biodefense research, right? One of them does that. Another one does surveillance. Another one does the development of the vaccines. You know, that there's a manufacturer and a supplier to support the one that's just above them. Also forecasting and biosafety policies. You know, this has got to be, I'm really wondering how Congress or the Senate, how they're going to react to something like this. Because if we're gonna if this is going to become a part of mankind, then we need to have we have to have a whole constitution for this. You know, it's kind of like when CBDCs get here, we also need to have a constitution for that. And I'm not wrong saying that. We need things on paper here. And at the end of the day, I really don't think it matters. I really don't. I really don't think it matters. They're going to do what they want to do. Satan's plan will have its ways of getting fulfilled, right? So I think that really there's just, there really is no stopping this kind of stuff. But that's just a little bit of the Athena project. And I wanted to tie in Oracle. I wanted to tie in Oracle because Oracle is pretty big. Oracle's actually very big in this. And real quick, I want to throw just some clips up of Oracle. You know, this was a while ago that these clips came out. This was last year. And it's just important because I think people may have, people probably didn't forget about it, but it's something that's got to be brought back to, it's got to be brought. Let me get this up here. Sometimes X does not, the play button just stops working. It's kind of wild. All right, I'll bring it up here. Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh, Oracle CEO Larry Ellison at the White House said that AI technology will soon be able to design personalized mRNA vaccines for every individual to combat cancer. That is a big fat piece of cheese, right? Like that's a big fat piece of cheese, yo. I mean, who wouldn't? That just sounds like, oh man, you know. First of all, cancer is the second leading cause of death in the United States. The first leading cause is heart disease. The third leading cause is medical malpractice. Well, not malpractice. It's actually just like the medical system in general. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Like, there's no getting around that. Is what it is. Johns Hopkins came out with an article back in 2022 talking about it. Okay, like I'm not tripping here. So we'll roll this out. This is old Larry, brother. Let's hear him. He's at the White House, by the way, talking.
One of the most exciting things we're working on, using the tools that Sam and Masa are providing, is a cancer vaccine. It's very interesting. It turns out, I'll be quick, all of our cancers, cancer tumors, little fragments of those tumors float around in your blood. So you can do early cancer detection. If you can do using AI, you can do early cancer detection with a blood test. And using AI to look at the blood test, you can find the cancers that are actually seriously threatening the person. So we can, again, cancer diagnosis using AI has the promise of just being a simple blood test. Then beyond that, once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again, using AI in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that vaccine available in 48 hours. This is the promise of AI and the promise of the future.
Yo, it's a promise, he says. This guy says it's a promise. That's kind of interesting because when I was working in clinical research, I don't work there anymore. I haven't worked there in like 4 years, but when I was in the biz, I remember we would be talking about things that would trickle down from the top at some point, right? Like we're all people and we all kind of can't keep our mouths shut. So there's certain information that ends up flowing around. Some of these things are kind of like talked about like as like dirty research, or some of these things are like, hey, look, they're trying to create a shot that is going to fix everything. And we were talking about that like 5 years ago. And I heard that there were trials coming for this kind of stuff. So it kind of, I mean, Larry's telling the truth here. Like he's not lying. This is not propaganda to get you to buy something, to get you to buy into an idea. Like this is real. He's telling you straight up exactly what I think is going to what's going to come. Now I wanted to, this is what this made me think of, because we've pulled up a video here where talks about predictive programming, right, with the X-Files, with the Hantavirus, yada yada yada, the aliens, right? Who knows, right? Like who knows what's going to happen in 6 months. But this here, I looked this up, and in the movie I Am Legend, right? Everyone knows the movie I Am Legend. Will Smith. This was a 2007 film, right? Where a genetically engineered measles virus designed to cure cancer mutates and destroys civilization. It was wild, dude. And it was created by Dr. Alice Crippen. The Crippen virus initially shows 100%. Folks, this is a movie virus. Okay, like this is a movie. YouTube, this is a movie. Okay. And it initially shows 100% success in treating cancer patients, but rapidly transforming 90% of the population into deadly dark seekers and kills the rest. So what in the world? And I'll tell you, all the zombie movies all are about taking some sort of mark, getting some sort of mark on you. Either something is something's penetrating the skin barrier of some sort, and it has an effect on you. It's very funny. It even says here in the movie I Am Legend, the cancer cure, the premise of it was in 2009, scientists modified the measles virus to target and destroy cancer cells. That's interesting. The mutation of this virus in the movie, the virus mutates, becoming airborne and highly contagious, leading to the collapse of society. Now, I'll tell you this: the way that this movie and the predictive programming kind of connects to reality is, we know from what happened in 2020 and 2021, and with Operation Warp Speed and Moderna and all of these people with what they dropped and what they came out with. There's a lot of effects to this stuff. Like, I mean, I'll be an advocate for it. Like, there's some effects to this stuff that they did not fully understand, and I'm just saying that nicely, but there's some effects to it. It is what it is. Like, it's out now. It's out now, and I don't even know if YouTube can technically like really get me for it anymore. It's out now. It's I mean, I don't know how many podcasts have to talk about it, how many people, how many news agencies have to like talk about this stuff, how many times this information's got to get out there that yeah, yeah, there's some effects. Some effects. It is what it is. So I wanted to throw that up there. So Larry's pretty much talking about that AI technology will soon be able to design personalized shots for every individual to combat cancer. And if cancer is the second leading cause of death in the United States, at least right now, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And cancer is an epidemic. It's actually it's an epidemic because I'd say we have probably higher cancer rates in the United States rather than other places, simply because of the food and the kind of food that we eat, also the kind of water we drink and all this kind of stuff. So, uh, it just is what it is. We're just so, I don't know the word for it, but we're under so much production that really the everything's kind of just toxic, right? It's all about money. It's all about trying to make a buck, trying to, it's almost like, think of it like drugs, right? Like, let's say you get a small bag of a potent drug, but you want to cut it up so you can sell more of it. It's just the same kind of concept with food, unfortunately. It is. It's the same thing. Um, and he also says here in this video that they're able to do it in 48 hours. Able to do it in 48 hours, huh? Isn't that kind of impressive? It's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. So here's another thing, right? Because Oracle's going to get tied in all of this. Oracle is going to be probably one of these organizations that helps assist with all of this. 100%. I mean, these are backed by Trump and the all this. So this here is a video of, and Barry, by the way, Larry Ellison, he's the owner of TikTok. So TikTok new owner, I could have stopped the shooter, right? This is from X. Where's the date on this? September 17th, 2025. Larry Ellison says schools can be locked down instantly and AI cameras would flag the second someone pulls a gun. Remember, his Oracle empire started as a CIA project. So this protection or surveillance question mark. So I don't know. I mean, this is how deep it's going to get. Now, I think too, 6G, 6G and all of, as we progress and we get, as technology evolves down the road, it's just going to get more, it's just going to get that much better at identifying, surveilling, and knowing exactly what is going on. We are literally, the world is almost like it's going to be or it's almost like this real demiurge world is going to be developed. And I hate to use the Gnostic term for it, but we know who the Lord of this world is. So that's kind of, and he is the real demiurge, right? Like that's what I'm trying to say. The Gnostics flip it and they twist it and it's crazy. They look at the serpent as the good guy. It's wild. And I pray for people like that because they're so lost, dude. They're so lost, man. And they're going to eat all of this kind of stuff up. Maybe not this in particular. They're going to eat the new age stuff up. And I think that's why a lot of this stuff is getting put in place. The technology is going to be put in place to where it's concreted in. And when humanity rises away from people like Larry Ellison, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, and all of these kind of people, humanity is going to rise up away from these people, and they're going to want to come together as one, and they're going to want to use the technology for good things, in my opinion. So it's kind of like how that's going to roll. So we'll play this out and we'll hear Larry. It's 2 minutes.
Schools, we think we can absolutely lock down schools so that dramatically reduce the case of anyone being on campus that doesn't belong on campus, and immediately alert. Second, someone pulls out a gun, immediately alert. Use AI cameras to immediately recognize that. But we keep everyone off campus that doesn't belong on campus. The police, another thing. Body cameras. We completely redesigned body cameras. Our body cameras cost $70. Normal body camera costs, I don't know, $7,000. Our body cameras are simply lenses, two lenses attached to your vest, attached to the smartphone that you're wearing. And we actually take the video that the police officer is, by the way, and the camera's always on. You don't turn it on and off. And by the way, the way you turn it on, you can't turn it on. I'm going to the bathroom. Oracle, I need 2 minutes to take a bathroom break, and we'll turn it off.
It's kind of like you have Jarvis in your head or something. Hey Jarvis, I'm gonna go take a piss. Can you not look through my eyes, please? Thank you. Right? Like imagine like where this can get down the line. Like I understand like the body camera stuff. I mean, that's something that Klaus Schwab even talked about years ago, where you're going to have these sensors that are on your clothes and all this weird surveillance hints that he was giving. I mean, $70 for a real impressive camera that could be a part of your clothing. Who knows, dude? This is crazy, man.
The truth is, we don't really turn it off. What we do is we record it so no one can see it, but no one can get into that recording without a court order. So you get the privacy you requested, but a court order, if you get a court order, we will, judge, can order, I want to look at that, this so-called bathroom break. If something comes up, and plus I'm going to lunch with my friends, or going in an hour for privacy with lunch with my friends. God bless. We won't listen in unless there's a court order. But it's interesting. But we transmit the video back to headquarters. So headquarters and AI is constantly monitoring the video. Remember this terrible case in Memphis where the 5 police officers basically beat to death a citizen in Memphis? Well, that can't happen because it would be on TV at headquarters. Everyone would see it.
Yeah, this guy's wicked, huh? This guy's wild. Yeah, I wanted to throw that one up there. I will bring another one up here, and then we'll get into what his organization is and a little bit more about him. So let me do this. What's going on? We got Not in the building. What up? Yeah, it was a good day for me. Pretty good day. Busy day. Tired. I'm going to get ready to land it here. I got probably like 20, 25 more minutes to cover. And we'll get ready to shut it down then. So, screen share. Oh, Larry again. Oh, Larry boy. And this clip here is Oracle Larry Ellison just dropped the uncomfortable truth about ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, and Gemini. This was back in May 9th, 2026. Oh, not back in, whoa. I thought it was 2025 in my head, but okay. This is this morning. Right? Yes, this morning, yo. All right. Let's hear what you have to say, punk.
As I said earlier, these AI models are trained on publicly available data, all the data on the internet. So if you look at ChatGPT or Anthropic, Grok, Llama, what have you, they're all trained on all of the data on the internet. In other words, publicly available data. But for these models to reach their peak value, You need to not train them not just on publicly available data, but you need to make privately owned data available to those models as well. As I said earlier,
Yeah, this is where the world's going. This is just what it is. This is what it is. Now, I'll tell you what. What's probably going to bring in the new age part of all of this is propaganda like this, right? Propaganda and how they're advertising all of these things, and then once they're advertised and they're locked in, then maybe new kinds of advertisements will come out about it. Like, hey, we know we created this, but you know what? We'll use it for good. It's kind of like when someone invents a gun and they're demonstrating how to use it and they shoot it. People would initially go, "Oh, dude, like that could be dangerous." But then the guy comes back and he's like, "Aha, no, we can use it for protection." And it's like still there. It's just different way to use it. Very interesting stuff. I mean, to think about, at least. It just is what it is. There's this is just where we're going. Come back, Lord Jesus, please. All right. So Oracle and Larry Ellison, what he's trying to do, he's trying to position Oracle as one of the dominant AI infrastructure companies in healthcare. He wants to do this by government data systems and enterprise cloud computing. He wants to get this involved in healthcare, and this is why it's contributing to the biodefense of the Athena agenda. He wants to centralize medical records. You heard him talk about how AI is and all this kind of stuff. Centralization is a buzzword for unity and is a buzzword just for more New World Order stuff. He wants AI to assist healthcare and medical professionals. Like, he wants AI to be a part of medicine. If anything, it might look like in the movie Star Wars, right? Where Padme is giving birth to Luke Skywalker, and there's a robot that's actually like taking care of her and all of this. In the movie Elysium with Matt Damon, you could see that the whole purpose of that movie was because he needed to get up to the medical pod up in Elysium, which the elites were the only ones that were able to own all that. But it's something about AI, robotics. It's going to take over the medical field. I really don't think doctors are going to be a thing in 15 years. I mean, I just saw an AI robot become a monk the other day on X. Just getting weird, yo. Also, Oracle is going to, predict analytics, and so it'll be able to act almost like a Palantir, but not in the crime way. It'll act like how he was saying, right? Like, hey, we come up with this product, we put it in your body, and it'll be able to detect if there's some sort of sickness that's developing, right? So this is the predictive analytic part of it, right? And it's going to have genomic data integration. We're going to see things like CRISPR getting involved and all this kind of stuff, and it's going to automate much of the healthcare system. Automatons in our society are on the way. There is no getting around that, right? A major turning point was Oracle buying Cerner, right, which is now Oracle Health. But for roughly $28 billion, they purchased this in 2022. Cerner was already one of the largest electronic health record companies in the world. Oracle's main goal in healthcare is to fix these problems. And like I mentioned earlier with the Athena agenda, you're going to hear similar buzzwords here about how the medical system is really in a state where not only does it need improvement, but we've learned those issues because of times like 2020 of the healthcare is just really fragmented and pretty much it's disconnected, and it's kind of there's a lot of problems with the healthcare that they can improve on. I even think Trump signed something a couple of years ago about this, about improving this. I think Dr. Oz was there, and that instead of having all of these isolated systems, that they want to integrate everything together into one. So when people know, I mean, y'all know this. When you go to the doctor, you go to your primary, and they say, hey, you have this wrong with you. You need to go to a specialist. So there's all these like specialists that are in cardiology, nephrology, respiratory, neurology. You've got the trauma section, right? You've got the oncology section, right? There's all these little departments, right? So the thing about with compartmentalizing all these departments and separating them is that I think it's just it won't be as good as the potential of the healthcare can actually get. So when you actually integrate all these things together, dude, you actually might literally, and if AI does all this, it could present probably a type of healthcare that would prolong your life to 120 years. Like, I'm not even joking. If cardiology worked with respiratory worked with nephrology worked with, they all work together. You can actually see how the body is a system, and it actually does rely on all the other systems to work together. So it'll only give people that much more hope for longevity. That's kind of like what I see with this. He wants to centralize healthcare records, right? He wants it to be cloud-based. He wants artificial intelligence to be integrated into it, and basically that real-time healthcare and its infrastructure will be ran by artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is growing. Our Oracle wants to have a one integrated medical ecosystem. It wants unified records of all patients. It wants to share information. It's kind of like this, right? Like our PHI, right? Our private health information is something that is it's our right, and it won't be a right to artificial intelligence, because it's not really. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not really a living entity. Like, it's not really someone that would take your information and go out and do something. Like, if it has codes, if artificial intelligence has laws or restrictions to never share anyone's information, it doesn't mean that it can't take other people's information and create data and go, this person's got this problem, or this guy's got this problem. Well, I can create this solution. Which, you see what I'm saying? It's like it's going to be wild, weird. It's going to be wild, weird, man. Wild, weird. There's going to be artificial intelligent doctors. It says here, this is what he wants to do. He's going to also, this will start out with artificial intelligent assistants to doctors, so that the AI could learn from the doctors. Because that's how artificial intelligence actually works, is by learning from us. It's like in the movie Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron, when he actually became a living artificial intelligent being, he immediately surfed the internet, and he just started learning from everything. And he learned it in a blink of an eye. He learned the whole world, all human condition, all human habits, all these things. And it actually personified him now as like this being. It helped him become a being. It's almost like it helped him become a living soul almost. And the thing in the movie is that he needed to create a body to actually put himself in to actually live forever, which is wild. It's so antichrist. It's so harlot based. All of these movies, it's really kind of wild. But Oracle is developing AI systems that pretty much can summarize all of these things. It could generate notes. It could recommend treatments. It can organize data, and it can pretty much, automate and do administrative work. All of these things. It's going to be able to also create genomic data, which is pretty much it'll, like he said in that clip I shared, these things are going to be able to create cures just for you with your data, your DNA, your kind of mRNA, just your code, your QR code. It's going to be able to provide exactly what you need. And that's the thing with today with medicine is, there's some that are over the counter. It works for some people, it doesn't work for some people, yada yada. Some people are allergic to certain things. So you see where I'm getting at with all of this. It's gonna target treatments, it's gonna predict disease, it's gonna personalize medicine pretty much for everybody. It's gonna be like an all data in one place, to where it'll have your profile and it'll be able to give you exactly what you need to make you healthy again, or to cure whatever disease that you have. It's why it's kind of scary reading this. I can't believe humanity is really at this level. But I can go on all day about Oracle, but pretty much the big picture is that Oracle is trying to become an AI operating system for healthcare. Its long-term strategy is going to work towards cloud computing. It's going to work towards holding and storing and combining all healthcare data. It's going to work with creating AI agents, kind of like how everyone has their phone, right? Your phone is your agent. Everyone can go on ChatGPT and interact with their own personal agent. Your AI on your phone actually adjusts to your requests. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed when you're asking AI to do certain things and maybe it kind of understands a trend behind you, that now it gives you suggested requests after you have put in a search? So you put in a search, it gives you what you want, and then at the end, it like gives you what you want after that. It's wild. It's weird. It's advanced. It's growing. It's growing, yo. AI is growing. It's a brain with no body. And I think, I have these thoughts. I'm like, is Revelation 13 the image of the beast, when AI is able to then go inside of an actual physical idol? Like, does that make sense? Like, the false prophet breathes life unto the image of the beast. There's like an occult practice with this. I don't know. I mean, is it going to give a body to something that may be another spirit, or is it going to be artificial intelligence actually is able to have a body now, and it's able to speak, do miracles, all this kind of stuff? It's wild to think of an idol doing these things, but in our reality, I can see artificial intelligence doing that. They clearly kind of like hint it to us in the movies. Again, the Age of Ultron movie, he's the artificial intelligence trying to make a body. He's trying to go into the body. For some reason, Jarvis was the other AI. Jarvis went inside the body, became Vision. What was Jarvis able to do now through a body? He was able to both speak and do miracles. Those miracles was that he was a superhero, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of weird. It's like wild to think of. That there's movies out there that may even hint this at us. I don't know. Thank the Lord for the Holy Spirit and grace. Thank the Lord. Oh man. But anyways, that's just such a brief. That's such a brief little discussion about Oracle, but I just wanted to mainly share the clips with you. I wanted to talk about the Athena agenda. I wanted to show you pretty much what is happening behind the scenes. We're going to see more of this kind of coming out. I think there's a lot of distractions happening, but a lot of fun things to talk about. And I'm going to get ready to do a show, not tonight, not tomorrow, but the next day. Hopefully, if I can get my notes all ordered together here. But I want to have more of like a roundtable discussion with what people think about the Epstein files. I want to hear smart individuals. I want to hear guys that have been calling out psyops for a long time. And if I can get my group of guys together, my brothers in Christ that I've been plugged into, these guys, John S90, Tishbite. I mean, and there's others too that I haven't even worked with yet. We've all got very interesting perspectives of what's happening. And I will tell you that these guys are seasoned in how to discern what's taking place throughout culture, throughout the internet, throughout social media, and all of this stuff. And I think it's psyop season all of the time. But with what we're going through right now, with the UFO dump of things, it's very interesting. I don't know if y'all caught it, but when you look at Fox News, News Nation, I forget which agency it was, but they showed the 8-pointed star UFO, and there's things on X that are coming out that this is not a UFO, that this is actually a flare. It's a flare from a parachute, right? And this news agency cropped out the parachute purposely, and they zoomed in on the actual 8-pointed star looking whatever UAP right at the exact time that the parachute was supposed to come across the screen. So it's kind of like these news agencies know what they're doing, but if they know what they're doing, then they're willingly lying. If they're willingly lying, then what are they a part of? So if they're a part of pushing disinformation or misinformation, whatever you want to categorize it as, they're ultimately pushing propaganda. But what is that for? That is what I think is where the new age comes in, and all these suckers are all in on it. And it's kind of wild to even think of. And I even think that people are in on it ignorantly. I think it's that good now. I think the psyops are just that good. I think people, it's kind of like when you hear what's the guy for World Economic Forum? Yuvaldi Harari or whatever his name is. Forget his name, but he wrote a book called Homo Sapiens, or Homo. I don't know. I think he's a Homo. I think he literally has come out and said that. But Homo Genius or something. What's the book this guy wrote? What's this? Harari. Homo Deus, I think it is. Let me type that in. Yeah, it's all right. Homo Deus is the book that this guy wrote. I remember him saying at a World Economic Forum seminar over there in Geneva, Switzerland, he was saying pretty much that the future, people will think that their thoughts are organic, but their thoughts are not organic. They've been manipulated, and it's very similar to kind of like what he was breaking down, kind of like how I see in the movie Inception, where you think it's your natural idea, but really it's not. And you actually end up going out and pushing this propaganda, and you're ignorant of it. And I think they're that good now. I think the psyops are that good. So just get closer to your Bible. That's the only truth we have. Get closer to your Bible. Get in the Word of God. I need to do it myself. I'm over here talking all this stuff. I need to do it myself. I need to get in the Word more. And I don't want to be a hypocrite here. And I mean, at some point we're all kind of like hypocrites because we just want to encourage each other to do the right things. And so let's do it. Let's do it. It's interesting times. It's fun times. Let's hold the reins. Let's fight the world with the Word of God, right? Let's armor up each and every day, and let's have fun with it. Hopefully, fun is possible. I hear the NDS guys talk about it all the time with me. which maybe I bring like a depressing, maybe I bring a depressing thing about this, but I'm just such a serious person that just kind of may come with the baggage. Um, and I'm trying to learn how to have more fun with this stuff. So let's try and have fun with it. It's a wild ride, and we're here for each other. But thank you everyone for coming out. That is tonight's episode. I appreciate you all so much. And Mark, appreciate you for tuning in. We got Barker in the house. We got Light World. Good to see you. Rebel for Jesus Christ. Love it. Good to see you as well. Tracy, what's going on? Mr. Godwin, what's up? I'm going through some names here. What's up, Neo? What's going on? Why? Good to see you. What up, Ultra? You were popping off. I was reading some of your stuff. It was good stuff. Yeah, no, I appreciate you folks. I do. I have fun with the group that God's given me to talk to. I don't know. And I love y'all. I love y'all. I do. If anyone has any prayer requests, just drop it in the comments. And even if it's just a few seconds that I can, give you some prayer, it's something that I feel called to do as well with the community. And just be ready for some future episodes coming on here. I'm trying to work every day I'm off. You folks know I'm a fireman. Like, I go to work for 24 hours. I'm off 48. I'm trying to, work on my days off. I call this work because it kind of is work, but I just think I get too many ideas. I get too many topics. I get too many things that I feel like I need to talk about. And so that's why I'm glad God blessed me with this platform, blessed me with this show, so I can have an outlet to do all of this. I never thought I'd be doing this. I never thought, I'd even get to where it's at. And I praise the Lord through everything, because he's the one responsible for it all. I don't deserve any of this, and he's done all of this, and he gets all the glory. What's up, Cake in a Cup? Good to see you. Yeah. Now listen, hey, I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you want to support the show, be sure to just come over to the Patreon. If you want your ad-free access, if you want your group chats with me over there, direct chats with me as well, and ad-free stuff, just come on over there. It's pretty cool. We got a growing community. And also, if you want to support the channel on YouTube, just hit that subscribe button, like the show, share it with your friends, and drop a comment about what you think about the episode. If there's any other additional information I didn't say or that you've got, just literally drop it in the comments. And also, if come support your boy over on the audio platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Spreaker. And while you're there, just drop a review, nice one, hopefully, and hit that follow button, hit that notification bell. But God bless you all. Love you. Stay true to the gospel. Hold your Bible tight. Put on the armor of God. See you next time.